I restore old audio for a living. That sounds more interesting than it actually is. Most of the time, it's just cleaning noise, removing hiss, balancing levels, taking something forgotten and making it listenable again. People send boxes of tapes they find in attics, family recordings, old interviews, sometimes things no one remembers recording at all. My job is mostly technical. I wasn't expecting anything strange to happen. The tape arrived in a plain cardboard envelope. No return address, no note. Just a single cassette labeled in faded handwriting. August. No year, no context. I almost ignored it. Unlabeled tapes are usually useless, but something about the handwriting caught my attention. It looked careful, like someone had written slowly to avoid making a mistake. The first recording was normal. A woman's voice. Calm. Soft. She was describing her morning. Weather outside, coffee going cold, a neighbor walking their dog. The tone felt intimate, like a diary spoken out loud. I assumed it was a personal journal someone wanted digitized. I started cleaning the audio, removing static, balancing levels, half listening while I worked. Then she mentioned my street. Exactly. Not just the city. The street. She described the traffic light outside my building, the bakery on the corner, even the broken sidewalk near the entrance. I stopped the playback, rewound, listened again. Maybe it was coincidence. Maybe she lived nearby. Cities overlap in strange ways. I kept listening. She talked about someone leaving the building across from her. A man wearing a gray jacket, carrying takeout. I recognized the description. Because it was me. I had done exactly that earlier that week. Same jacket, same bag. I told myself I was being paranoid. Plenty of people wear gray jackets. Still, I checked the file again. No date, just audio. I listened from the beginning again. Her voice stayed calm, observational, almost detached. She wasn't telling a story. She was describing moments as they happened. Small details. The way sunlight hit a window, the sound of someone laughing outside, the rhythm of footsteps in a hallway. The recording ended abruptly. Just silence. I told myself it was coincidence, archived the file, moved on. But that night, curiosity pulled me back. I loaded the second side of the tape. Her voice returned. Same tone, same quiet patience. She said she wasn't sure how long she'd left to record. That made me pause. Left for what? She described her apartment, a desk near the window, a microphone that clicked when she pressed record. She said the light outside was fading. Then she said something that made my stomach tighten. He's home now. I froze. She continued. He always comes back around this time. Soft footsteps could be heard faintly in the background. Not hers, someone else's. She laughed quietly. He still doesn't know I'm here. I turned off the tape. The room felt smaller. I told myself this had to be staged. Some kind of art project. Performance audio. But the way she spoke felt real. Unscripted. Like she wasn't performing for anyone, just documenting. Over the next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I listened again, and again. Each time I noticed new details. Background sounds, the hum of a refrigerator, a car alarm outside, things that matched my environment too closely. Then came the third recording. It began mid-sentence. If this works, someone will hear it later. She sounded tired, not frightened, just resigned. She talked about time moving strangely, about noticing small shifts before they happened, a cup falling before it fell, a phone ringing seconds before it rang. She said she started recording because she needed proof. Proof she wasn't imagining it. I kept listening. She described someone listening to her tapes, cleaning them carefully, pausing often, trying to understand. My hand froze on the mouse, because that was exactly what I was doing. I stopped playback, removed my headphones. The room was completely silent. I remember staring at the tape itself. Ordinary plastic. Scratched label. Nothing about it explained the feeling crawling under my skin. I almost threw it away. Actually held it over the trash, but curiosity won. It always does. The next recording started with static. Long, uncomfortable. Then her voice returned. He thinks the tape is about him. A pause. He's right. She said she had started noticing someone in her recordings. A listener. Someone in the future. Someone reacting to her words. She said she could feel when he stopped the tape. Feel when he rewound, as if listening connected them somehow. I laughed nervously. Told myself it was impossible, but the timing lined up too perfectly. When she paused, I held my breath. When she laughed, it felt like she expected my reaction. The tapes became routine. Work during the day, listen at night. Her voice started feeling familiar, comforting even. She never sounded scared, just aware. Then she started describing events that hadn't happened yet. My phone ringing late one night, an argument with my sister, a coffee mug slipping from my hand. Small things, but they happened. Exactly. I tried ignoring the tape. 2 days passed. On the third night I gave in. Her voice greeted me immediately. I was wondering when you'd come back. My chest tightened. It felt like she knew I had stopped listening. She said something then that changed everything. I don't think I'm ahead of you. I think you're behind me, she explained slowly. The recordings weren't predictions. They were memories. Her memories. She said she had already lived through what I was living now. That she recorded everything so someone else would understand. So someone wouldn't feel alone the way she did. I realized I was leaning closer to the speakers, needing explanation, needing reassurance. The next tape sounded different, room tone deeper, breathing slower. She said the gaps between events were shrinking, moments repeating slightly out of place. She described hearing her own voice through the wall, like another version of herself recording at the same time. Then she said something that made me stop breathing. You're going to start noticing it soon. The moment before something happens. That night, washing dishes, I froze. I suddenly knew the glass would slip. And it did, shattering exactly the way she described. I listened to the next tape immediately. She sounded tired, almost relieved. It starts small, she said. But once you notice it, you can't stop noticing. She talked about feeling disconnected from time, walking slightly ahead of everyone else. Sleep got worse. Dreams filled with static, voices out of sync. Sometimes I woke convinced someone had spoken my name. The apartment was always empty. The final tape was short. Her voice was calm again. If you're hearing this, you're close. Long silence. You're not listening to me from the future. Another pause. You're listening to yourself. My stomach dropped. She continued softly. You recorded these. After. I rewound. Listened again. Breathing patterns. Cadence. The pauses. Slowly. Horribly. I began recognizing it. Not her voice. Mine. Slightly older. Tired. Softened by time. The tape ended with one sentence. I hope you listened sooner than I did. Click. Silence. I didn't sleep that night. I sat staring at the tape, trying to remember recording it. Nothing came. Now, sometimes while I'm working, I catch myself speaking quietly, narrating what I'm doing, describing small details like I'm leaving notes for someone, for later, for earlier. I don't know anymore. And lately, when I press record to test equipment, I hesitate before I speak, because I'm never sure if I'm starting something new or finishing something I already made.